back to taking the ImPACT test, it's just another test. I work in a school where we do a lot of testing, and they're used to it, so they just kind of come in and it's just another test. I mean, they do walk out and tell me they're tired when they get done, that it's exhausting. It is kind of mentally exhausting if you're not used to doing that.
Students' reactions to taking the baseline test, they love it. It's fun, it's challenging, it's got things that are understandable for them. Everybody seems to get frustrated by a different part of the test, either the letters or the having to remember something 5 minutes later, or the why are those designs keep changing. You know, it's the same design, it's facing a different direction, who cares? You know, but it's, for the most part, it's fun, and they like to talk about how did you do on this part, or how did you do on this part.
The reactions that I get have really run the gamut between people who take it incredibly serious and people who may not take it very seriously. The biggest thing that I've learned in giving a baseline test is to actually go ahead and make sure that they understand that there will be retests if the test that I have is not a valid test, and to understand that the environment will continue to be quiet once we go ahead and herd you through the demographic pieces.
The kids react to the baseline test. I think they all moan and groan about taking any test, period. But I think once they get into the test, there's not a peep that's in my group when the kids are taking it in the computer lab, or if they're in our meeting room next door. They, I think, find it challenging in a good perspective, because I always get kids will always come in, and I don't preface any sort of questions when they come back. And the first question is, they ask me, do I have to print this out? And I'm like, no, you don't have to print that. Some kids do print it, and they just get the sheet that they've completed the test, but that's okay, that's an extra piece of paper. But the questions, I wouldn't say questions, the kids react to it by saying, wow, that was like I couldn't really get through the figures, or that was really, that really challenged me. I'm like, it's supposed to challenge you, it's supposed to make you think, because it's making your brain process things. It's allowing you to have that reaction time. And some kids will actually, I can see them, it's a challenge for them. And again, in a good way, because it's like them trying to succeed on a test. So they look at it from the pass-fail version, and I explained to them that it doesn't make a difference if you're a 70 on the test or 100 on the test. And I know there's no numbers that are associated with that, but I explained to them, it's your baseline. It goes nowhere. It doesn't get shared with anybody besides the medical professionals. It's there for my knowledge and for us to assess. So don't think you're dumber or smarter or anything like that because of what your baseline tells you.
So what we've incorporated for baseline testing at my school has really worked well for us. So during the orientation process, when all the new students come to school, we have ImPACT baseline testing as part of orientation. So they're divided into groups and they go to different things for orientation. And one of the stops is they come to the technology center, and we have 12 or 15 kids in there, and we read them, we say, this is what we're doing, this is what the testing is about. We say to them, don't try to cheat the system, because if you have a concussion, you're not going to remember which part of the test you tried to throw. And so ultimately, you'll never return to baseline. You'll never go back to play. And so with the technology and having those baseline tests, what we're able to do is explain to the kids, it gives us a chance to do an education. This is what a concussion is. And some kids are like, oh, I think I've had one. Well, then when you go through your demographic, you need to make sure that you write that in there. And so it gives us a chance to educate them at the same time. Then they do their baseline testing. And then we'll go back through and we'll look, was somebody flagged? Do we need to pull someone in and have them redo it? Did they not understand the instructions? Are they dyslexic and they clicked backwards through the test? So we're able to go back and look. And then we redo them as juniors. So we then, in their junior year, as part of the first day of school, actually, first day of classes, that afternoon, all of our juniors will redo a baseline in their junior year. So it's nice because it's part of what they do, and so the juniors understand, oh, I have to do this again, and the new students understand this is part of my orientation, this is what I do, and I'm gonna have that baseline there. And some kids have now had it before. They've done it maybe at their middle school or their repeat 9th grader, and they had it at their public school or where they were before that. So we have that. There are kids who understand what it's about.